So let's talk about Alec Baldwin's shooting that happened a few days ago that killed his cinematographer and wounded his producer. Let's talk about it. Good afternoon, Sebastian's Corner. Welcome to video number 2. What I want to talk about today is what happened with Alec Baldwin's, they call accidental discharge, misfire, and it on the movie set of Rust. It's a Western show, and his cinematographer was killed due to this accidental discharge, misfire, an accident, and his producer was seriously wounded. Don't know any other details on that. I wanted to wait until I found out more details of what happened. I didn't want to just rush to judgment after I heard about it on the news, read on, saw it on the internet, and so I didn't want to jump to a uneducated decision of what happened, because I was not there. So I can only go by what the information is being released. So Alec Baldwin, the movie star, who is a active liberal, who is very, very anti-gun, very anti-NRA, was on a movie set, and a firearm was involved, and he, from what I have seen, read in the news and on the internet, that he pointed the weapon, the pistol, I don't know what type it was a pistol, and pointed it at his cinematographer, and shot the firearm and killed the female cinematographer, upcoming cinematographer, went through her body into the producer and injured him severely. Again, I don't know any more details on that, on his injuries and such. What I have heard and what I've seen and talked about now, that there was a live round in the firearm. I do not know if it was a revolver type of firearm or a semi-automatic pistol type, where you have a magazine. A revolver, you have a cylinder that has rounds in it. Each time you pull the trigger, the round will rotate to the next cylinder. If there's a round in it, will fire and go off. A magazine, if you have a magazine loaded with rounds, or you have a round live in the chamber, some firearms will fire without a magazine in, or with just one round in the chamber. Other than that, I do not know, what type of firearm was used. I was a law enforcement instructor out in Chicago, did 10 years in the Army, infantry airborne, very well versed in firearms, long rifles, sniper rifles, pistols, tactical techniques, day and evening tactical techniques. So back at the task at hand. So what I have not heard about or discussed, from the chain of events, you have a young female armorer who cleans, who fixes these firearms for the movie set. Somehow this pistol was not demilitarized. That means there was nothing done to this weapon to where it wouldn't fire an actual round. A weapon that it has been demilitarized. It has parts taken out of it. You cannot fire a round through the barrel, or the round will not go through the barrel. It is purposely a prop gun. From what I've seen and heard that this pistol was not a prop gun. It was actual a real firearm. But what concerns me is the chain of custody. I have not heard anyone talk about the chain of custody. You have the armorer who cleans, who repairs, who issues the firearm equipment through the staff, to make it to the actor being Alec Baldwin. Where was the chain of command, chain of custody, matter of fact, chain of custody from the armor to how many people touched this prop gun or live prop gun, which turns out to be a real firearm, finally into the hands of Alec Baldwin, the actor. Okay, so maybe you understand where I'm going with this. So the chain of custody would be easy to find out. So if the armorer had issued the weapon properly, there would be no live round in it. There should have been no live rounds anywhere on the set. But from somewhere from the armorer to how many people touched the weapon, including Alec Baldwin, somewhere between A and Z, A being the armor, Alec Baldwin being Z, somewhere between there, a live round got issued, got put into the chamber of whatever type of pistol, being a revolver or a semi-automatic. Again, I do not know what type of pistol was used on the scene that fired a actual live round. So, give me a second. I'm going to show you something. All right, so this is for demonstration purpose only. I don't have a firearm. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm going to just use my hand as a demonstration so you can see it. So at what given point did Alec Baldwin point a weapon, being a prop gun or a live weapon, live pistol, at the cinematographer and pull the trigger? That's a question. So when a weapon's drawn, you always want to make sure it's unloaded when you're handed a weapon at first, okay? For safety reasons, just for as we're talking about now. And then you also got to keep the weapon, and you use proper muzzle management. Keep it pointed downward away from any type of target until you're ready to bring up and acquire your target. So let's say that'd be muzzle awareness. You want to be aware of your muzzle. Okay. So let's say his weapon was in some type of holster or containment system. He might be in his pants. Who knows? I don't know anything about the movies. I'm just trying to hypothesize, what might happen. So let's say it's on a hip, whatever side. Let's say it's on this side, my strong side. So if I'm going to draw my weapon, I'm going to have it pointed down and not have it pointed at a target. Okay. So you draw, hold it down, or different other styles. Hold it close to your chest right here to protect it, or hold it. Depending on your training. This is more of military tactical training, more of a law enforcement type or civilian carry. So at what point did Alec Baldwin, the movie star, the liberal anti-gun supporter, okay, decide to point the weapon, it's my hand, decide to point the pistol at the cinematographer? I don't know. All right, so you saw that. You saw me demonstrate a really simple barrel awareness, where you should always keep it down until you acquire your target. At what time in Alec Baldwin's head did he decide, I'm going to point the weapon, this pistol, at my cinematographer? And normally, your producer and your different cast directors and such, cinematographers, are going to be behind the set, because they're filming. So did he turn around and point it at her and then shoot the weapon? That's a very good question that no one is asking. Did she run onto the set and he pulled the trigger? That's another possibility. But the most importantly was, no one has talked about the chain of evidence, chain of command, and such, from when the pistol left, was given from the armorer to Z, from A being the armorer, Z being Alec Baldwin, chain of custody. At what point between A and Z did that live round get inserted into that pistol, either being a revolver or being the semi-automatic pistol? At what point? But also, even a prop gun or such, or a regular weapon, if someone hands me a pistol, or I hand someone a pistol, you always hand a firearm to someone unloaded. So let's say you're standing in front of me and we're two buddies, we're talking about guns. It's like, hey, and I hand you my pistol, I'm going to drop the mag, put it down, I'm going to rock the slide back, and if I'm in stage one, that means I have a round in the chamber. That round's going to pop out, and then I'm going to lock that slide back, and I'm going to examine it, make sure there's not a round in there. Safety's first. And I'm going to hand it to whoever I'm talking with, gun buddy or such. They will also, even though they just watch me, or vice versa, inspect the weapon to make sure that they or myself is being handed a empty weapon, no rounds in whatsoever. That never happened. No one is talking about that, the chain of custody. And hopefully this video goes viral and people talk about it, because something is not adding up to, something's not adding up. 2 and 2 is not equaling 4. 2 and 2 is equaling to be 5 in this case here, because there were some serious mistakes involved, and no one's talking about where'd that round come from. Why wasn't this pistol given a safety check each person that touched this pistol? That's the question. Chain of command, or the chain of command, the chain of evidence for that particular weapon, from who touched it to who finally touched it, and anywhere in between. So we'll see what happens, and that's just the point that I want to bring out. And where was the cinematographer that got killed and the producer that got seriously wounded? Where were they in conjunction to when Alec Baldwin pointed the weapon at the cinematographer and pulled the trigger? Something's not adding up. So we'll see. Thank you.